The new world, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So shit is still real out here in the field for this that coronavirus. You know what I'm saying? All over the world, the death toll is actually top 10,000 deaths due to this virus. And no matter how you slice it, I mean that's something to worry about. You know what I mean? 10,000 people just died in a matter of 3 months due to a virus that's spreading globally. So anybody trying to act like that ain't about nothing is bugging. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like Italy and Europe it seems like Europe in general as a continent is getting it the worst. But Italy specifically out of that continent, where the death toll is like top where it initially started, which is in China. The death toll in Italy is now at 3,400 with 41,000 confirmed cases. So it's a good reason why that nation is on lockdown. Green Wall graduation. The new world, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So over in Australia, there are officials that are tracking down thousands of people that actually left the Princess cruise ship that docked in Sydney after 4 passengers on that ship tested positive for COVID-19. That's coronavirus disease 2019. It's been under a rock the past few weeks. Prince Albert II of Monaco is actually the first head of state to have tested positive for coronavirus disease 2019. Then over in Latin America, you have Brazil, Chile, Peru that actually have hundreds of cases. South America as a whole has 1,000 cases, nearly 1,000 cases, with those 2 countries I just named having hundreds. Venezuela has the whole country on lockdown. Guatemala and El Salvador have reported their first cases. Over in Africa, there are over 700 confirmed cases on the continent. South America is actually, as an emergency measure, putting up a 25-mile fence towards Zimbabwe to block out entry from undocumented migrants. And there you have it. The world in a frenzy. Green Wall graduation. The new world, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So back onto this coronavirus thing. Over in Saudi Arabia, in the Middle East, they're actually suspending all prayers and trying to secure the areas around Mecca and Medina. Over in Europe, Netflix is actually saying that they're going to lower the quality of their streaming in Europe due to the lockdowns of Italy and Spain and other nations. There's just been an increase in streaming of YouTube and Netflix, so they're going to ease up on their quality in order to still supply the people with the streaming. But over here in the U.S., Governor Gavin Newsom of California actually ordered all Californians to stay in the house effective immediately. So that is affecting 40 million people, shutting down bars, restaurants, social clubs, gyms, and shit like that, whatever. The only things that'll be open are pharmacies, groceries, and banks, bank institutions. So we'll see how this plays out. You already have housing insecure people up there staying in vacant houses, specifically 12 houses in El Sereno, due to feeling like the government is failing them and protecting them for the virus. But we'll see how this turns out though. Green Wall and graduation. Report of the new world, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So over in New York City, a city that has been hit hard by the coronavirus disease, relatively. But they also have hospitals or whatever that are already becoming short on equipment, and they're not even expected to reach their disease infection peak until about 6 weeks from now. So, and when I say infection peak, we're talking about the rate of people actually getting the disease is not expected to taper off from there. So with that being said, they're already looking at being underprepared. They were Bill de Blasio, the mayor of New York City, former Democratic presidential candidate for 2020. He dropped that early. Nevertheless, he's asking for 3 million air filtering masks, 50 million surgical masks, 15,000 ventilators, and tens of millions of surgical gowns, coveralls, gloves, and face masks. This is, meanwhile, the government is requesting that all healthcare workers reuse their N95 air filtering respirators. They've ordered 500 million of them, but apparently, according to Bloomberg, you shouldn't expect that order to be complete until about 18 months from now. Green Wall and graduation. The new world of the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black House News report. More on how the United States is reacting to this coronavirus disease 2019 spread. You have all 236 state legislators in Georgia have been requested to self-isolate after one state lawmaker actually revealed that he tested positive for COVID-19, coronavirus disease 2019. And this has obviously everybody on edge, but except for the people that's partying in Florida. There's a lot of people that are like, well, you have Miami Beach and Fort Lauderdale, they shut down their beaches, but there's a bunch of beaches that remain open. People are requesting, like, hoping that these kids will stop partying and gathering together, because a lot of y'all motherfuckers probably got that Rona and y'all just passing around towards each other. But, you know, y'all was ready to go down there and get nasty anyway, so I guess it's whatever. Trans-State and Compass, two regional airlines that actually expected to suspend their services at the end of this month. And you have 90 cities across the country that have actually canceled water shutoffs due to the fact that this virus has people out of work. So, you know, there's in 90 cities, people will be able to still keep that on. Green Water and graduate. The new world of the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So over in Elizabeth Immigration Detention Center facility, there was actually one medical worker that tested positive for having COVID-19, for having that coronavirus, and put themselves in self-quarantine. Now, there's actually another worker for ICE somewhere in the U.S. that's actually tested positive. ICE wouldn't confirm who it was, but obviously it has heightened fears about people just being up in these jails. It was actually the Detention Watch Network, along with a signature from like 800 different non-governmental organizations, actually sent a letter to acting ICE director Matthew Albright, basically saying how, like, you know, scabies, measles, mumps, and other like highly contagious diseases are known to go, you know, brazy in these like detention centers or whatever, or in jails. So ICE has already shown itself to not even be able to keep people safe even under normal circumstances. So basically putting a fire under them to make a move. Over in Essex County Jail, you have the immigrants there that are on hunger strike, demanding their immediate release or deportation to their home countries. This comes as a 27-year-old Honduran who was an asylum seeker and actually died in ICE custody in Texas, making him the 9th death while in ICE custody in 2020. Green War and graduate. The new world of the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News report. Make sure you sign that petition. Get Donald Trump on Twitter. Find the same link in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube, or my Instagram account, GradyGram716. The link is in the bio. They got exactly why you should be moved from the platform. One of them reasons being because he spreads so much misinformation. Now, he does so on Twitter without context, but when he press conferences, he gets his card pulled, and you know, then he lashes out. So yesterday at this press conference that he had, he's blaming like fake media and news media for, like, you know, the frenzy around this coronavirus. You know what I mean? Acting like he had a handle on the whole thing from the start or whatever. You know, doing what lying motherfuckers do. You know what I'm saying? Just to be frank, you know. But nevertheless, he did say something that I have to put out there and correct. He said that they were going to use and start making available chloroquine, which is a medicine that fights malaria, anti-malarial vaccine that was going to now be used to treat coronavirus symptoms. But he said that, like, you know, that's what's great about the FDA. It's going through an approval process. It's been approved, but the fact remains, right after that happened, Dr. Stephen Hahn of the FDA, he's the commissioner for the FDA, he actually came out and said that approval has not taken place. They actually have to conduct a large clinical trial before even allowing that to be the case. Nevertheless, when Trump said that, Rising Pharmaceuticals, a New Jersey-based company that actually provides chloroquine, they actually doubled the price of the chloroquine after they had already discussed that they weren't going to do that, and then they fucked around and did it. So these motherfuckers be playing games, man, and a lot of y'all be around for it. Green War and graduation. The new world of the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. Now, there are calls going out for certain senators to resign due to them having privileged information and having taken advantage of having that information and using it on the stock market. One dude in particular, Richard Burr, he's actually the chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee. This senator actually sold $1.7 million worth of stock and holdings on February 13th in 33 separate transactions, which probably means he was trying to be low, but he obviously wasn't. That's still a lot of money. And then he did it a week before the stock market began to crash and drop. So far, it's dropped 30% since then or whatever. But it's like, the dog, like you just look wild guilty. And nevertheless, this is somebody that had access to classified information and daily briefings on the spread of the coronavirus. He was actually heard at this Capitol Hill Club, talking with business owners in around the time on February 27th, when there only was like 13 confirmed cases in the U.S., urging them to prepare themselves. So, and the NPR actually released that audio, and people are irate about it. All other senators included James Inhofe, Kelly Loeffler, who's actually also wedded to the CEO, the chair and CEO of the New York Stock Exchange, and Ron Johnson, as well as Dianne Feinstein. So that insider trading shit is real. But then my thing is like, well, if they're not allowed to, if insiders aren't allowed, if insider trading is wrong, then why are insiders allowed to trade? You know what I mean? I'm not always gonna side against the rich people. You know what I'm saying? If it don't make sense or whatever. So it's like, what do you expect? Motherfucker knew that 1.7 mil he had was going to go down the toilet. Like, is he not supposed to do that? Then maybe he shouldn't be allowed to be in the stock market. Green War and graduation, though, just my thought. The Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So, economists at Goldman Sachs yesterday actually estimated that there were 2.25 million Americans that actually filed for their first week of unemployment benefits this week, making this week the largest rush of people to actually go towards unemployment in the history of the United States. Now, I guess on the brighter side of things, we do have other states trying to accommodate these workers or whatever, but people are caught up, especially like in California, for example. You have farmers that are a lot of migrants, you know what I'm saying, that are caught up between like, getting the coronavirus or putting themselves at risk of getting it, or feeding their families. You have hospital workers, medical care workers that are faced with the same thing. In San Diego, they're protesting like this new policy that allows for less protective respirators instead of the N95 respirators that are supposed to be used. And but you have Minnesota and Vermont that are actually allowing the grocery store clerks and classifying them as emergency personnel, and will provide free child care for them. Green War and graduation. The Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So over in Delhi, India, there were actually 4 men that were executed. 4 men who were convicted of a brutal gang rape back in 2012 of the student on a bus. Now, there were like packed crowds outside of the Delhi jail where these men were executed, and therefore there were hundreds of police that were deployed to contain these crowds. Nevertheless, Prime Minister Narendra Modi actually had to talk to the 1.3 billion citizens of India and basically urged them to like, basically y'all need to practice some social distancing, stay at home and do the things that he was telling everybody to do to slow the spread of the virus, the coronavirus that is. But nevertheless, people felt really adamant about that execution, holding up signs like justice for women and hang the culprits and all of that. Green War and graduation. The New World, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So NASA actually released data that showed that the country Greenland is actually, last summer, summer of 2019, they saw themselves lose 600 billion tons of ice. That's the most that they've ever lost, and it shatters their record that was set in 2012. Their ice is already melting at a rate that's 6 times faster than it was doing in the 90s. And the amount of ice that they lost last year, all of 2019, was enough to raise the global sea level by 2 millimeters. So we have that going on. 2019, as we know, was the warmest year on record. But this past winter, actually, which officially ended yesterday, Thursday, is actually was the warmest for Europe by far, actually being set at an average temperature of 1.4 degrees Celsius or 2.5 degrees Fahrenheit higher than their previous record, which was set in 2016. Green War on Graduation. Hold up, the New World, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News report. So over in Ecuador's Amazon region, they actually had a lot of extreme weather that caused the Bobanaza River to actually swell, and that water actually even poured over and washed away some homes, schools, animals, crops. You know what I'm saying? Put hundreds of families, forced hundreds of families to become homeless. And everyone feels like it has everything to do with climate change. It even washed away a bridge through the Salayaku community. So they're going through it over there. Keep those people with thoughts and positive thoughts or prayers. Green War and Graduation. The New World, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. Man, I'm surprised at this little bit of news right here. But the Hawaii Congresswoman, Iraqi war vet, current National Guard member, Tulsi Gabbard, presidential Democratic nominee, or was, she has officially dropped out of the presidential race. I mean, you haven't been seeing her in the debates because she hasn't qualified for the debates, but she was still running. But she officially dropped out, and then immediately backed Joe Biden, out of all people. Now, Shorty ran on a campaign of ending forever wars. She's 38 years old, you know what I'm saying? Like, and but to endorse, like, I'm just surprised that they're endorsing Biden over Sanders. It probably has something to do with electability, but nevertheless, that's what happened. So, goodbye Gabbard, you know what I mean? And more power to Biden now, who's being set up to do what? It's just still mind-boggling to me, but that's what's happening. Green War on Graduation.